everybody, John Eleyet here. In this video I want to show you the 5 patterns of the pentatonic scale, how you can apply those patterns to both minor and major keys, and give you a little bit of theory behind the scale. A pentatonic scale is a scale that spans an octave using 5 unique notes. I'm going to cover both minor and major pentatonic scales in this video. The first one we're going to start with is the minor pentatonic scale. For these examples, we're going to be in A minor, and we're going to use the notes A, C, D, E, and G. Each pattern is going to have a different starting note, but it's just going to continue that same sequence of notes. So let's take a look at pattern 1 of the minor pentatonic scale. Pattern 1 is going to start on the 5th fret of the low E string. Shift up 3 frets to get pattern 2. Two more frets for pattern 3. Again, 2 frets for pattern 4. Shift 3 frets for pattern 5. And finally, shift 2 frets to return to pattern 1. The minor pentatonic scale works really well for minor key songs, as well as major key songs in certain genres such as blues or rock. For example, you could take the major key chord progression, A7, D7, E7, you could play an A minor pentatonic scale over it, and it'll probably sound pretty cool. But now there's going to be major key songs where a minor pentatonic scale will either just sound plain wrong, or it won't really be suitable with the style. This is where the major pentatonic scale comes into play. Fortunately for us though, both forms of the pentatonic scale share the exact same patterns. The difference being that for the major pentatonic scales, we just begin with pattern 2 instead of pattern 1. So let's look at the guitar and let's see how this lays out on the fretboard. Take a look at the notes of the natural minor scale. Compare that with pattern 1 of the pentatonic scale. Here they are back to back. If you look closely, you'll see that the pentatonic scale is actually very similar to the natural minor scale, just has 2 notes taken away from it. It's going to be helpful to think of pattern 1 of the pentatonic scale as being based off of the natural minor scale. Now take a look at the major scale. And compare that to pattern 2 of the pentatonic scale. If you look closely there, you can see that pattern 2 of the pentatonic scale is very similar to the major scale. In fact, you could essentially think of it based off of the major scale, just with 2 notes subtracted from it. Basically what we need to do is we need to take pattern 2, which is based off of the major scale, and we need to place that where our root note is. Now, there's basically two ways that you can go about this. Which way you choose is just kind of up to preference. So what we can do is we can find our root note on the low E string, in this example A, and we just take pattern 2, which had been up here, and we just slide it right here. So now pattern 2 starts at our root. And all the other patterns shift with it. The other way to go about it is to find your root on the low E string, so here's A, and just take pattern 1 and shift it down 3 frets. 1, 2, 3. And then when that shifts, everything else shifts with it. In effect, it accomplishes the exact same thing, but it's just another way to think about it. So maybe you prefer to think of pattern 2 being right on the root, or maybe you just prefer to think of pattern 1 just being shifted down. So how is it that both minor and major pentatonic scales share the same patterns? Well, it has to do with related keys. Unfortunately, related keys are a whole other topic for a whole nother video. But for today, I just wanted to go over the specific patterns of the pentatonic scales and where they fall on the fretboard. To transpose the minor pentatonic scales to a different key, first find your root on the low E string and then place the first note of pattern 1 on your root. To transpose the major pentatonic scales, find your root on the low E and then place the first note of pattern 2 right on that one. Well, that's all that I have for you today. Hopefully this was informative. I'm hoping this cleared the waters instead of mucking them up. If this video was helpful to you, please like it, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.